Hello everyone, I know it's been a literal month since I posted the first 50 days. It's a lot of footage to edit. Anyway, here's the next 50. Obviously we're picking up on day 51, we need a lot of resources, so it's time to automate a little more with Create. I'd like to make a big old quarry. Oh yeah, we don't have any resources. Well, I had enough to make this thing. Yeah, it's not exactly what I had in mind when I pictured a quarry either, but I need more andesite first, so... Hey, I made a quarry. I made it on this little contraption thing, so theoretically it will be really easy to move in between mines. Speaking of, I need an easy way to power it. Windmills are going to do the trick here, but we can test it with this little manual crank. Wait, what? Those chests should definitely be moving with it. There we go. I just forgot to glue them. Perfect. Scoop. And there we go. Easy to move. Now to build that other windmill. That's so wrong. Hold on. Hey, it's actually working. Wow, it's very slow, but so long as I keep it chunk loaded, it should be a decent supply of resources for us. Also, I built another windmill. I don't remember why. I didn't even hook it up to those machines there. Whoa, that's kind of trippy how far it's already gone down. We are going to need some space to store all these items, so I get to clearing out all these random armor pieces we have for some reason. These guys just love to interrupt me over here, huh? Well, I grabbed the best gear we have. Guess that means it's time to fight the Wither, huh? Oh my gosh. This guy was so tough for some reason, and melee combat was simply not the answer. Haha! Take this. Become the porcupine you were always meant to be. Oh, thank God that actually worked. Went ahead and looted some bastions for the rest of the gold I needed to make a level 3 beacon, because if within a few blocks of my storage system, it makes it accessible anywhere in the dimension. So this makes transporting resources from the quarry a whole lot easier. Now we have to work on processing those resources though. So I made enough mechanical crafters to craft up a few crushing wheels, and then remembered I had to power them. Good thing I made that windmill earlier and can hook it up. Oh my God, it's so slow. Are you kidding me? I did the recipe wrong after all of that. And second time's the charm, as they always say. Now we have our crushing wheels. Also, while working on resource gathering, I had been intermittently checking in on our citizens, giving them what they needed to keep working, like a stone hoe. This setup actually took a lot longer than I thought it would, as I had to make brass for this fancy schmancy speed controller, so it was much easier to control. Day 75, I took a brief break from that and tried to help British Toast fight the Lich in the Twilight Forest. It took us way too long to realize this was a shadow duplicate of the Lich, and therefore we couldn't actually hurt or break its shields, so this was a bit crazy. We did eventually find the real Lich hidden up in his tower and absolutely destroyed him. It definitely wasn't closed at all. Why are you not going into the chute? These are supposed to function just like hoppers, but apparently have one exception. They don't work for me, just like these finicky little brass funnels for some reason. Meanwhile, our builders had nothing to work on, so we set down a farm, so hopefully they can start growing their own wheat and feeding themselves. Yeah, we've been feeding them manually this entire time, where they get pretty unhappy. We also realized another reason the builders don't have anything to work on was when we placed down the warehouse earlier, we never made a build order for it, so we spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to find the warehouse block. Eventually I had the bright idea to just put down the outline of it and dig it out using the overlay as a map. Found it. A couple days later, the warehouse was almost finished, and when it was, the first thing I did was fill it with stone tools so these builders can stop pestering me every other day for a new tool. We do need at least one courier though to carry these tools and items around as needed. I also took all that miscellaneous armor, weapons, and tools and popped them in the warehouse too. Guards can only use a max tier of weapons according to their level of the guard tower they work at, so they can't use a lot of those just yet, but they'll equip the best they can. There's no harm in putting another builder set down too, so we went ahead and popped one of those down, keeping it near the warehouse of course. Crap, at the end of day 81 we got a raid. They always happen at dusk, so you have time to sleep through the night real quick and then deal with it without all the night monsters harrying you at the same time. The raid turned out to be just like 3 dudes chilling on the ground, which makes sense though. We only have like 5 citizens. We really need to build more residences. Speaking of, Genesis wants us to make a clipboard, which, once bound to our town hall, is like a bunch of resource scrolls all in one. I prefer the resource scrolls though for now because it shows like the future needed resources, and the clipboard doesn't really do that. Day 83, I spent looking through the infrastructure options in the build tool. We could have our citizens build these, but they are better off building important buildings for now. I was looking through the options for inspiration and then realized I should make some paths for our citizens. There's a long list of blocks the citizens walk a little faster on, paths are one of them, so not only is this aesthetic, it will also speed our people up a little bit. I also needed gold, lots of gold. It's a good thing these bastions have a ridiculous amount. Why do you need so much gold, you might ask? You already have a level 3 gold beacon. Well, I'll tell you, as a beautiful little golden chicken. If I get my beacon to max level, the storage system will be accessible in any dimension, as well as from any distance, so as long as it's chunk loaded in, of course. British Toast is in the Twilight Forest right now, with a quickly crowding inventory and backpack. It would also help me get more loot from the Nether without making so many trips back and forth, like more gold. A horde's worth of gold, some may say. Quarry is going well, but I want it to be much faster, so after spending a whole day crafting up another speed controller, I really should have just bulk crafted like 10 of these. I added to the contraption setup along with the windmill, which I expanded to help with the increased stress load. And I have no idea how this happened. My best guess is I deactivated the quarry while it was mining somehow. It glitched underneath the blocks. There we go. It runs much quicker now though. It's finally time to upgrade some of the builder's hut because we can't actually upgrade any other building until the builder's hut is upgraded to that level first. Don't these paths look nice though? I also preemptively put in a build request to upgrade our town hall. Rodney is currently working on a shepherd's hut BT placed down a bit ago because these builds require a surprising amount of wool. The village is starting to get in the way, so we peacefully asked them to move. Wow, the quarry is already done. I tested moving it on a rail system instead of picking it up and placing it down, and it does work, but you have to move the cart assembler manually anyway. In the time it took me to clear out a path for the quarry to move along, it finishes and is ready to be moved. Oh god, oh no, stop, what? It seems if it goes off the rails, it just likes to spin around and destroy everything? I guess I'll just manually move it. It's not that much work because I've marked it all out already. Scratch that. It finishes mining down so quickly, I'd have to move it like twice a day. That just means I should expand it, I guess. Double the size, that's much better. I finally got our ore processing working. Raw ores get sent into the crushing wheels and then get washed out by the fan on the left for a little extra resources. We have so much cobblestone now that I had to hook up a barrel so it stopped clogging up an entire system. I also made a little enchanting setup and remembered we have the apotheosis mod, which is really cool. It makes it so I have no idea how enchanting works. But with a little investigating, it looks like I needed some more setup to get fortune or something, which is really the only enchantment I care about right now, so oh well. I wanted to make an automatic feeding upgrade real quick to my backpack, so I took care of some overpopulation issues, and what are you doing in here? We were also running low on wood because I dismantled the water wheel setup we had and replaced it with the windmill, but never powered the wood farm with the windmill, so I went and built another windmill for some reason instead of just hooking it up. Our forester decided the newly grown trees would be a great target and got sliced in half by the saws. Whoops, I guess we should villager-proof this place. There, all fenced off. We shouldn't have any more bisectings now, hopefully. I encountered a new issue with our quarry on day 93. Sometimes it mines past lava and then the lava gets hit by the water above and turns into obsidian, trapping our quarry underneath. So I spent almost the rest of the day mining our quarry out from chunks of obsidian and blocking off water and lava sources. And while I'm here, why not expand the quarry? It would be cool to eventually be able to mine a whole chunk all at once. Now that's a quarry. I also added some stack upgrades to the chest to account for the extra resources. Oh hi, don't let me interrupt you two. Maya the lumberjack, or rather lumberjill, and Amara seem to be getting along. Another raid? These are getting more and more frequent as the colony grows. What is it this time? Oh wow, 5 of them. That's almost double the last raid. My axe is going to be enough to deal with them, but these are scaling really quickly. Rodney finished up the builder's hut level 2, so I had him immediately start on the level 3. And oh my gosh, this takes so many new resources we haven't crafted or stockpiled up in the warehouse for them yet. Most notable, we are going to need a lot of stone and stone bricks. While setting up an automated charcoal and stone area, Maya the Forester was slain by a zombie piglin somehow. Figuring she just wandered through the portal accidentally, I didn't bother to check or pay it much mind. I'm sure this won't lead to more future incidents. For some ungodly reason, Rodney needs nether bricks for the level 3 builder's hut, so time for another trip to the nether. Who are you? Swanky Stella the Mighty. Wow, your buffs are glowing and fire resistance. That's pretty sad for an epic boss. Now that I think about it, Swanky Stella was probably the one who killed Maya as she was so near the portal. Even though I've avenged her though, our citizens aren't going to work because they're mourning or whatever. Oh, okay, this is an actual issue. There goes another forester. There must be a piglin over there or something. Let's fence this in so no more get through. I made a stonecutter's upgrade for my backpack, but unfortunately there's no architect's table upgrade, which is like 90% of what we use to make blocks for Minecolonies. Day 98, I went ahead and paused our tree farm and swapped the wood out for spruce and oak, because we're starting to need actually a lot of both for the buildings. With our automatic stone setup, it was pretty easy to stockpile the new resources they needed for our new buildings, mostly consisting of stone blocks and stone creations. And briefly checking out our town hall, we have 12 citizens now: 1 archer, 3 builders, 1 cook, 1 courier, 1 farmer, 1 forester, 1 knight, 1 shepherd, and 2 useless children. I didn't know this at the time, but you can actually turn off automatic citizen spawning, which will turn off children. They are really just a nuisance in this, as they take up housing space and cannot do any labor. Dang child labor laws. Later on, once you have a school, you can turn it back on and then train free super citizens by training their stats from a young age using the education system in Minecolonies. Our farmer Collins is very upset because she doesn't have enough fields to work on. Even though she isn't using the dang sugarcane field we made her, I don't know what's wrong with her. On the bright side, I found out if we make some maps, we can put them in the town hall and unlock this neat little interface which shows our houses and citizens and other stuff. Seeing that the village was really starting to get in Hobbleton's way of expansion, I resorted to some more drastic measures of relocation. The easiest way I've found to input everything from our quarry into our system is just breaking all the chests and standing there and clicking it all in. I downgraded to a single chest and then upgraded the stack upgrades, so that would make that process easier. Our quarry was out of room to mine, so it's time to move it. But it did that weird glitching thing through the blocks again, so I had to mine it out. Good thing it was only dirt this time and not dang obsidian. And as we end our 100th day in Hobbleton, let's go on a little tour with some smooth jazz. Oh my gosh, look what I found. It's a giant statue of a hobbit. We have to build this. It's perfect right here in the town center. As always, have a good one, everyone.